Last week, I showed you the worst MacBook to buy in 2022. You can check it out over here. But that brings me to the best MacBook to buy in 2022. If you're talking about the best, top of the line MacBook, I would just straight up tell you to get the 16-inch MacBook Pro. But it's an overall comparison between all the different MacBooks, so you can decide on a smart choice that also fits your budget and your needs. So the best MacBook to buy in 2022 is... MacBooks are weird. People who use them love them. Others don't get it. They are some of the most expensive laptops currently in the market. That doesn't mean you're not getting what you're asking for. But come on, $4,000 is crazy for a laptop. MacBooks have always had the most beautiful designs out of all laptops. We can most likely agree on that for sure. But sometimes they're not as functional as other laptops. So the ultimate winner here is going to be very, very hard to pick. The first laptop to get deleted off the list is the 13-inch MacBook Pro. And I know I really hate this laptop for some reason, but when it comes to design, yes, the design is quite beautiful. It is getting quite old too. It is from 2016. The design is getting quite old for this laptop. And also, when it comes to actual functionality, it's pretty poor. There are only 2 USB-C ports. One is going to be taken up for charging when you're charging your laptop. Likely, it has pretty good battery life, but we'll get to that later. However, you only get 2 ports, so USB-C, 2 USB-Cs, and also 1 headphone jack, which is interesting because I thought Apple is trying to sell us AirPods, but I guess not now. The second laptop to get out of the list is the M1 MacBook Air. Similar to the 13-inch MacBook Pro, it has the same good old design, but the lack of ports. So 2 USB-C and 1 headphone jack for this laptop too. The next laptop has to be the M2 MacBook Air, sadly, because, well, I love the laptop, but it doesn't have all the functionalities that some other laptops offer at the same price tag. So you only get 2 USB-C ports, 1 headphone jack, and a MagSafe port. So that means you actually do get 2 functional USB-C ports, even if you are going to charge your laptop. Then we get to the ultimate winner. These are currently the only laptops that Apple offers with SD card readers and HDMI ports. They have good old ports that we all want. However, that does also make them one of the thickest MacBooks currently in the market. I personally like their design. Some people don't love it, but some even hate it. I like the way they look, especially if you get a silver model, because Space Gray MacBook Pro, this generation just doesn't work very well. Then we get to battery life, and here we still have a clear winner, the 14 and 16-inch, actually more specifically the 16-inch, which offers so much battery life, it's going to last you more than 2 full working days. It's like crazy how much battery they put in these laptops, and thanks to the MagSafe chargers, they do get an additional point as well, because easier charging is really good. I'm even planning on making a video to show you exactly how much MagSafe is better than normal USB-C charging, so you can decide on your own whether if MagSafe is one thing that you want in your MacBook checklist or not. But it's pretty awesome. Then we have the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It has pretty good battery life, almost the same as the new M2 Air, but we still haven't got that laptop yet at the time of recording this video, so we still don't know exactly how good the battery life really is. And finally, we have, unfortunately, the Air, the good old M1 Air. And yes, it still lasts you 1 full day, which is honestly amazing. But obviously, in this day and age, we do want some more battery life. Next up is price tag. And you might be thinking, okay, yay, this one is a clear winner too, the M1 MacBook Air. But it's not just the actual price tag number. Yes, that does really matter, but also what you're getting for the money that you're paying. In this case, the first laptop to get out is the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Once again, this laptop offers very little for the very expensive $1,600 price tag. It's almost like, again, they made no effort in making it. So why would you pay your hard-working money that you actually put some effort into for a laptop that Apple didn't really care about? Another laptop that's going to get out here is going to be the 14 and 16-inch laptops. And the thing is, if you really are planning on getting one of those, you really have to first of all decide if you really need them. Because yes, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max are already some of the most powerful chips Apple ever makes. It's not like M1 Ultra is just a little faster than them. It's like these chips are not designed for your just normal Safari browsing. These are serious chips for like 3D modeling and stuff like that. So you really have to decide if you're a real professional and if your M1 or M2 chip cannot handle your thing. So you should probably go to an Apple store, try out your application and see if the M1 or the M2 cannot handle it. So you should upgrade to a Pro, Max, or even the Ultra in that case. So you can get more performance. But obviously you really have to decide if you're a real professional, because I mean, $6,000 for a laptop, pretty crazy. By the way, the price tag that I'm talking about is the full like opt-out 16-inch MacBook Pro. Then I think we have the M2 MacBook Air and the M1 MacBook Air kind of on par in this case, because both of them give great value compared to their price tag. However, in this case, I think have to go with the cheapest MacBook, the M1 MacBook Air, which costs about $1,000. You can even get a little off if you're shopping in Amazon or shopping at very specific times like Black Friday. But the thing is, these are both really, really powerful laptops. It's just up to you if you really need the new MagSafe cable, if you really want the new design, and also if you like blue, because the new MacBook comes in blue. Ooh, so this one is a nice one because shipping, it's really hard to get things these days because of the supply issues. There are a lot of things happening. You can do a lot of research on this stuff. But to sum it up, basically the companies in China are not able to meet the requirements of making chips fast in time. Because people are buying so much of these Apple products, so that's why these companies are running super slow thanks to the pandemic, because a lot of these people are getting off or going off breaks, working online. You can't really make chips when you're working online, so that's why the whole supply chain is a lot slower these days, which also means that you're not going to be receiving your products most likely on time. Thanks to this, it's going to take up to early August if you order a 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro. Yes, that's like best right now. So 14, 16-inch MacBook Pro, fastest time to get is early August at this point, at the time of recording this video, July 10th. So that means you still have to wait at least about a month to get your laptop thanks to the supply chain. Now, there are a lot of people who got their laptops a little earlier than the thing, so that's like a long estimate on when your laptop is going to come to your doorstep. But it does mean that you're going to be receiving it eventually, but that eventually may be different for different laptops. The M2 MacBook Air and the M2 13-inch Pro, these are going to be really, really bad when it comes to delivery times. What's most likely is if you order the new M2 MacBook Air, it's going to be delivered in September. So you're going to have to wait like almost 2 or even 3 months in that case for your brand new laptop, which is pretty hard, especially if you really want to work on a new project right now. So if you're a real professional and you actually really need the laptop right now, I think what you can do is you can order 2 laptops, so one 14 Pro and one M2 Air if you like the M2 Air more because it's cheaper, it's has a new design, everything like that. Order 2 laptops, maybe order a Pro model, so the 14 and 16-inch, and receive it so you can get going with your project that you're working on, so you can get your laptop on time, and return the product after the M2 Air actually delivers to your doorstep. Whew, that was a lot of talking. Then there is the chip. clear winner here. The M1 Max, the Pro 16-inch M1 Max is the absolute king of Apple's laptops right now. The chip is super, super fast. If you want anything more than that fast, you are probably going to have to go with the Mac Studio, which has the M1 Ultra. Trust me, if you are a normal person, you don't need even the M1 Max or the M1 Pro or the M1 Ultra in that matter. You don't need any of those. You only need the M1 or the M2, so the basic baseline chips. Now, the newest chip in this case is the M2. So if you want a more longevity update time, then it is obviously a better choice to get a laptop with M2 compared to M1. But still, when it comes to the powerful king or something like that, the M1 Max, M1 Pro, obvious choices. But if you're not that professional, you need a little less things in your laptop, then you can definitely get either the M1 or the M2, both pretty much the same, though there have been some reports on M2 being a little less powerful than M1, which is, in my opinion, surprising. I'm not sure if I believe it yet, because obviously the new M2 Air is still not out, so it's really hard to basically know what's it going to be like in these new laptops. If you're a real buyer, you should actually wait for the laptops to get to reviewer hands like me, so you can make your actual correct choice. So you should definitely subscribe if you're waiting for an M2 MacBook Air review in person. And finally is the final choice time. So the first laptops that we got rid of is the 14 and 16 inch. Even though they're the ultimate laptops, in budget terms, they fail immediately. Unless you're really a professional and you really, really need the power. So, but if you're not, just pull them out of your list. The other laptop that we got rid of is the 13-inch Pro. Again, I explained to you guys, the design is old, the shipping times are long. It just doesn't make sense to get the 13-inch, honestly, and it is still pretty expensive too. Then we have the M2 Air and the M1 Air, and both of these laptops are great. They have great features. And in this case, it's honestly based on you. It's either that you want a new chip that possibly gives you longer updates, or if you want an older chip that gives you less updates in the future, but also if you really want your laptop to be on time, because obviously, again, supply chain, shipping times doesn't really work really good these days. So if you want a laptop to get it right now, you should probably rather get the M1 Air. But at the same time, if you really, 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 really don't care about the shipping times, then you should get the M2 Air. Obviously, better laptop overall, new design, everything basically better. So if you want to see my full review of the M2 Air, you can watch it right over here when it's out, over there. But with that out of the way, I'm Hormuz, and you were watching Pineapple. Thank you for watching.